tomorrow morning, and we will probably hear sometime later today whether there are news of what he's going to say.
Okay, Bloomberg's Alessandro Speciale, as we look ahead to that speech, that important decision by the Italian Prime Minister Mario Draghi, as of course economic concerns are in focus for that country as well. Let's get into the key market drivers with our guest, BlackRock Senior Investment Strategist Laura Cooper joins me in the studio now. Laura, good morning. Thanks for coming in. We can get on to Italy and the political risk, maybe even the political risk here in the UK, but let's start with the recession fears that seem to move back into focus in the session yesterday, highlighted by that decision by Apple to reduce its headcount in the months ahead. Goldman Sachs also looking at culling some headcount as well. Where do we stand? What is your assessment of the recessionary risk, what type of recession we might be getting, and how you position around that?
Yeah, and that's the key question, is what type of recession are we going to get, and less about are we going to actually get a recession. Now, at this point, we assign a fairly low probability to a U.S. contraction over the next 12 months, and if anything, over the next 6 months, we're likely going to be in this period of so-called mushy growth. So really an environment where real GDP is in kind of that low single digits. And, against this backdrop, we are likely going to see some inflation pressures start to ease. That will reduce the impetus for the Fed to have to tighten as aggressively. Yes, they're going to continue to front load those rate hikes, but ultimately not enough to trigger that type of demand destruction that would prompt this sharp recession in the U.S.
Mushy growth, I haven't heard that one used before, so we'll coin that for you, Laura, and keep that going. If we get to a point, are you starting to think about the rate hike cycle as being pulled forward, aggressive but short, and then you can start to think about opportunities maybe in the first half of 2023 on that easing emphasis from the Federal Reserve? Things start to open up, you start to position around that.
Yeah, and I think that is largely the case. Notably, if we look at markets are priced well for that front loading of Fed rate hikes, looking around that 200